A gente salva desse jeito, ou porque depois no final ele quer ver todo mundo junto na mesma tela para depois fazer um print.
Dá para fazer isso, então.
Dá para fazer? Hello, Teresa! Ok. Ale, supotestunto. You know, sometimes there is lack of body, you know? Você pede para eles tirar foto, para você aparecer na foto. Pede para um deles tirar foto. Pede para um deles, quando ele está começando, pede para eles descer aqui, a gente tirar foto, aí você... Porque daí você pode participar. Very good in internet, you know, in technology. Yes. Are we recording already? Okay, when Pedro comes back. We are recording. Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's all. Go to Yanani. Yeah, that Dambo Teletana to the Musa Zomdini, Dini Talamni, Adona Chimbochini, Samala, also Simjish Tisovi, Tandi Janekur, a lot to Tatic chair, Tele numbers of Tina Chimbochini Piatella, and some detention delays in Samala.
First of all, welcome to everyone here present and also online, everyone from far and everyone from near. And first of all, that has seen this deep interest on hearing and listening to what we are going to talk. And so this makes me very happy. And so I really rejoice and everyone welcome.
Also, Tandaji Gumjaya, the Sukarres, Sosoji, Symbol Zambo. Yongwiche dans symbol holo Yongwiche de Sonza to number to Sama in the to Zedani Bicale symbol holo chin de Nyangore Matoyam Semba Kusuto the Semba Petri de Yeno the Nichini Yomada.
Well, first of all, we come here in order to understand how to train this mind, how to transform the mind in order to be more relaxed. And so if you're listening to these teachings with a very uptight mind or agitated mind, then it's not on benefit.
Yeah, that don't want to somewhat there's a Cheni Kajikaji Lama Tarian Sonsa, there's a Lolo injury. Imbainada, Nadangaji Kaza, Tineta Sujilata, Lamdron, Madame Mombuchi Sonsa, the Sute, Lolo Chavicheta, to Karma Kashirina, and a Unjong Gumi.
Well, some of you maybe have already good realizations, but people as ordinary, just like me, that has so many, the mind is so quickly and it's running here and there and so much distracted. And so for people just like me, and so it's very important to relax this mind before engaging in the teachings. And so let's do now a breath meditation to relax these discursive thoughts.
단데 also 치다가 치안에서 남긴이 좋아하시래. 아니 가서 춘지된 그 자와 간이지 제가 있나요? 오늘달래야. 그런다 하지는 기치 모인 손자 그래서 그런 주스 그 점바데 가리고 그래서 되겠어. 그런데 상마치다. 아니 그런데 지금 야침보지. 산지 전에 되게 많이나요. 아니 추송비 가래 미버도 담모원이야. 그런데 야고치고 그래서 가디는데 송교가 나지진 하나 소위 많이네요. 담모달래 그런데 어배 야고치 제고야 베키치모리.
Just like before engaging in any of activity, either mundane activity, either dharmic activities, it's very important to set a good motivation. As Buddha himself, he showed us that we have to engage. We have to set up a motivation like being a pure and vast motivation. So this is very important for engaging in any kind of activity.
Yeah. 당에 내리만 너무 교롱이니까 내가 너무 저 인심을 지금 너무 요거야 말이라 이나요. 그런데 가르에지가 소소는 들리지 진짜 지금 소소 년발 때니 소소래나 펜도 용와 미자다래나 지 펜도 용와 어디니지 이버도 용와 쇼스마도 삼로 들리지 그런지 기대나 되게 뭐도요. 너무 저 이버도 지 너무 돈이 요구하는 들리요 말이야.
Now I'm gonna do the recitings, the opening prayers. But the point is, like, actually, in order to need or not need this prayer, well, I don't need to do these prayers. But why is important? This is to set a good motivation. And so while I'm doing these prayers, the opening prayers, so it's important for you to set up a good motivation. So what is to set up a good motivation while I'm doing this prayer is, well, I'm going to receive these teachings not only for my own benefit, but I'm going to receive these teachings in order to benefit everyone else. So while I'm praying, please keep this in mind.
Yeah. Rola vizir sangi bewara sho sangi juji shanamba sangi patu dani jasi dagi juvonji vesanji rola vizir bewara sho sangi juji shanamba sangi patu dani jasi dagi juvonji vesanji rola vizir sangi bewara sho kangi Nami Juno Dova, Godum de la Java, Sevi Jubi Tangi, the Bai, Santa Shin, the language, Pony Jason, the Jubi language, Jason, the Conjur, Chana Bemo, the Johnson, the one that so general. Timbaran Jensoke, my dear boy, Jagdania, each other, Nije Jumbo, Joy. Hola, sudagazo tagazani gum korlayama deviore. Nagazo gum zena carres digana soso ji chamatan sewala soga tinilaya soso lu gum jitematelaya gum segores.
Well, now we are talking about meditation. So meditation, the process of familiarization. What is process of familiarization? Of familiarization of good states of mind, just like love and compassion and so forth. So in order to be familiar with these states, that's the reason that we meditate.
Yeah. That gum jamni pento the carrier city galea, two the soso symbol holoyoya. Symbol holoyoma in the libo de holoyoma. Don't listen Nigala Deva Yongachita, and the Chaber de Ankare Sirikane, Simba to Ko Yambo, or Dinichi Chayore. That the Gum Jam the young Suzuka Simba to Ko Yambo, Machawajini, Kusutori, Shamina, or Gum on the Tukio.
And what are the benefits, the straight benefits of meditation is, first of all, to relax the own body. So to have a body more healthy and so forth. And also to have a more relaxed mind. And this relaxed mind is in the sense of have a more open mind, more relaxed, flexible, and tolerant mind. And so if you meditate each day and more that we meditate, if you become more like close-minded, narrow-minded person. So that's that what shows that we are not directing the meditation in the right direction. Please, okay, yeah, thank you.
Tadini Dordi Shabaina Maruso Carres and the Chukeleni in Nare, Chukemeleni in Nare, so the Suima Yenaya, Mi Sambo, Mia was at the Yongo, Tangason. That Mi Sambo, the Mia was at the two Chelo Remdo, two the Samlo Tanda Tony, Samlo Tanda the Yabuchi in the middle Yabuchita, Samlo Tanda the Yabuchi Meva in the middle, but in Sambo Mayima Chano Yosonza, Samlo Tanda de Go Yagachole and Yuratawala, Gumgutan and Dena, and the Yabuchavius.
Well, all of us, we want to be a good person, right? And so we look for this result of being a good person. And so that's the reason that we meditate in order to transform our habits, to transform the way of thinking to the right direction. Because all of us, we have our own way of thinking, but we have to redirect this thinking to the positive and virtuous direction.
Yeah. Kazan Nazochi Nanchunala Suji Karasumbi Residicala Tawa Joba Gumbas Targum Jo Sumzini within the Sumorwa. Ta Kokares in the two the Kares the Gala Joba de Yabuchium Gores. Joba de Yabuchiumala, Tawas the Samlo de Yabuchium Gores, Samlo Yaboyumala Kares, Gumji Tamlo Latini, Sozo Sem the Geratan Twaina, Teladini, Samlo Tantan the Yabuchi.
Before we talk about the Buddhist triple of view, conduct, and meditation, to remember, so the previous Sundays. And so what is that? So in order to have a good conduct, so to be a good person, to be a good conduct, we rely in a good view. What is the good view? Is a good way of thinking. And in order to refrain or to retrain the way of thinking to the positive direction, we have to rely in the familiarization process, in the meditation process. And so that's the reason that if you do meditation, if you familiarize to the good thoughts, and then we have good positive view, and then we have good positive conduct. That's the reason that we meditate.
Yeah, that didn't also that gum the Shivalea, that Gundalea, Kegunda Jogum New Binani, and the Casa Babade, Sud and Jogum Korlea, Jians.
And we have two kinds of meditation. So the unifocal meditation and the analytical meditation. For now, we are doing the single pointed meditation or stabilizing meditation.
Yeah, that Kazan one layer days is Yusari, that did Casa Babakarium Yures, the Galea, and the Omubadi.
Well, this is a little bit of the briefing that what we did before. And today we start with this part of object of observation.
Yeah.
In the third page, maybe? Fourth page? Yeah, I'm showing here in the... Guys, in Tibetan is the second page, but most maybe is the third and fourth page, okay?
Yeah. Da Mubatella Chedagachini Kazan, also Yayima, Dinala de Dina, and Niba Mubani, then Metolas of Palamina and Jiggeres. Nina Gubi Wong, Unjong down, Ludan, Tibari de la Tsoroazan was the same Zano, or the Lutsur Semchu, Nabi Dambanesha, Yaboyongalea, Ludan, Yonson, Dinano, Gubi Wonga Soya, Kaza, the Gogo at Teres, Gubi Wonga.
Yesterday, the previous Sunday, we also explained a little bit about this. And so the object of observation actually can be anything, even either a flower or anything. But usually we choose the object of observation or meditation out of the need. What do you need to retrain in our mind? So that's the reason that sometimes we have to focus on the breath, sometimes in the body, in the feelings, the mind, and phenomena, and so forth. And so out of the need, then we decide to choose for a different object.
Yeah. The order the pento be jing pamas. Sozo la pento chisho sozo tindi pama to in soza yang kakole sozo pamala muni yang tindichi or gomja tavaina. Yang chikari yore zitigala. 소소고 파마래 양이 양한테 들리지 삼로고 돈이 군디 때문에나 파마의 수준이 센다에는 예고 차로야라 펜도 용거래 상도.
And also here we said the benefit field of the parents. So when we visualize our parents of this life in front of us, and then we keep in mind again and again, we bring in mind again and again how much effort and all the works and efforts that they went through, all the problems that they went through in order to take care of us, to educate us and so forth. And we have to habituate with the image and with their qualities. And so this is also very beneficial to use them as our focus object in order to also to bring them together, to bring them closer emotionally. This is also one of the benefits.
yang tesola mini gom jabayina kare yores de kozugo sozola ma lojo jite shabayina so sama de yang sozogo treyoya dito de treyoya odinigo gubayo sonza yang sozogo givishinya mini gom jaya.
The other object of observation is the quality field of spiritual teachers. And what is this? If you visualize when you're meditating all the spiritual teachers in front of you, and so what is the purpose of visualizing them is to any teaching that you receive from them, so their qualities and the qualities of the teachings they're going through, so you can receive better and easier. So in order to benefit these, the better understanding of the teachers and also the qualities of the teachers, so you take them as your focus object.
Yeah. yang also chishi goya chila karre sitikala suso phama yani yang da temba in the suso la garden chembu kandi cha yumete ten di kana ya phama la yang chi pa yago che thoya dine yungre da chabar de yang da suso go genla tuso gati in the temba in na genla suso la kan laba de gati in the ten yes pena suso yise tani chi ma na yise tani ka le suso genla tuso yago sanlo tan genla suso la ngoma lob sha ya tuso Rendi kala dini yise tang ni kala yise la ya ko phasha ta jiara dini ko pe dini pena dini yudo aso ma jam ke da ma mi dini ma ina ani ko zo ta mo kan la ure ji kam zo ma ja bi ka le ni ko ta ma jong lam ke ge ge ni ko teng ko re si de tena khari yore si kala ya ma ja bi ka le me da de pendant da so again la so la lab ja ya de gen la teng on di kala ko nga so la pendant the candidate which love on the day of the day yes again la yo so the chaza so we get to so young on the tango the picture yes
so if you remember all the time your parents, so you recollect all the time their kindness and all the efforts and kindness and love towards us. So this is very beneficial. And another one, I know if you visualize all the time your spiritual teachers, what is the biggest benefit for this is that when, for example, when you are taking an exam, when you're reading something or taking an exam, and if you visualize your teacher in front of you in that moment, so you remember better their advices, you remember better the lessons that you got from them, and then you can either do a better exam or go through the practice better. Just like, the practice of word of, like shooting into a goal and so forth. So when you're shooting into a goal, and so in that moment the shooter is focused to the goal, and usually remembers the advices from their technique, from their coach, or how you have to place your gun and your arms and so forth. And so likewise, like completely single-pointed, concentrating the devices of your teachers. If you remember your teachers, you can recollect again and again the devices and the essence of the teachings that you received from them, and visualizing again and again, remember again and again your teachers is absolutely important.
Lord, you lawyer by the young cap, Ani Pondini Tani, Taparze Martinicana, puts my George, Tisha, and it about the source of Dinigini and Samota, And the Samla Tan Martin is also Gela Yago Gela Yago Gom, and again like Namji, Lotte Chetan, that is all the Samla Tan. Yamomo, she tell it in the table. It in the Galatini on the co, Tiara, or the younger, also give you to me.
I can even share my own experience. When I was going through the process, the process of Geshe Larampa, and so during all these 6 years of Geshes, of examinations of Geshe, it was so many scriptures, so many books that we have to memorize and to study and so forth. It was too much, and sometimes we open our books, and it was so much that we couldn't even understand in which chapter we arrived. And it was too much. Even if I forced to study this, nothing else was coming into my mind. So at that moment, what I used to do is I just left my books aside, and I meditate in the image of my teacher. And then slowly, I didn't meditate. I bring into my mind the image of my teacher. And slowly, which kind of advices or how he taught this topic that I needed to read and I couldn't understand anymore. And then slowly, all of his advices and the teachings that I received from them slowly came in my mind. And then all the lessons became a little bit clear. More and more clear, and then I could take all the notes in that book that in the beginning, even if I was trying to force to read this, nothing came into my mind. So this is one of the benefits that I have my own experience.
Yeah, that didn't move a chicaras and a hacker solar move us on the Yago Yores, that don't know. That hackers in the Gana Yasus at the new Namji Tomba and Dindile, Chitona Yoni Imbayana, and Tombo Soso. Chishane Gomer Chevalaya, Tumbi Kundo, the Dili, Soso Mubazo, Samay, Tambo Mole, Mubadan Sorgo, yes. Mubadan Sorni, Dini, Soso Ala, Chimading, Gumjati, Iberta, Dili, Gumbian, Samadoji, Delayan, the Dayan, the time. And the Capilla, Soso, Meek and Toa Najend, Soso, Semle at the Jen, Chamber Chin, Dini, Gumtabayina, Dini, Peyawa. Tambo Mikita, Tambo Mikita, Queen, Pari, Suzu Dili Pari, Karina, the Nijilata, or that day Pariapuji, Yana Kuya, what did you do, or that thing you could be some Yan Tombo Miki, Yapota, Mikita, and Mila Charawa Najende, Suzu Semle, Samlola didn't charge in it.
And the other object that we mentioned here, deities and statues. And so usually before engaging in the meditation, we have to first look for and decide for the object that we are going to meditate. So let's say that we take the statue of Buddha or whoever you wish to meditate. So one of these high realized person, so let's take Buddha. And so we imagine we first look for one of his pictures or statue, and then we look again and again the proper statue or the proper picture. We look again and again with our eyes, right? And then sort of we memorize the form of this statue. And then just after this, like having completely confidence and memorize the form of the statue or the image that you are going to meditate, then you close the eyes and then you start the process of mentally visualizing that image of the being that you decided to meditate.
Yeah, Tandi Shenega Mubi Korda, that tema Shane Gomtang Korda, and the Jirmocha Mugi, Janetan Hong Gomser, Jane Gomser, take court the numbers of you a lot when the Injita, we summit Toloyola, but depends here.
Well, all of the process of meditation that we are talking now is very well written and in detail explained in the Lamdron temple, the gradual stages of the path from Rinpoche, Lamdron Kappa. So if you can have a look in this book, also it's very good for you. And it's translated in many languages.
Johnny to Gumna Tiki, Tachi, Yashu the Carres, Tigana, Soso Gaganda, Tachi Lama, or Dindida, Yana Soso was him. Oh, Desambo Canola Munigum, Yashu Chago. Yes,
so Sempa.
근데 상지고 고.
And but in brief, if you can decide among three kinds of object is better. Either the object, either the body of Buddha first, second one's own mind, and also one's own Lama. So if you can visualize, choose among all of these three, it's better. You receive better qualities.
Yeah. That is so much. Yasha imbi jumsa karela na susu ke sem la muni tu tini chini gom tabayina kapchile susu ke sem the susu ke ngoshi yungul. Tani ne kala ngarso pena ngaro ngoshi segore imbayina naso tada ngada ngashi chege kasa ka susu moya pochi shingiyo mar. Susu ke karasam giyo me the susu ke sem ke nalo la kariyo me the so the sem the susu ni te zen rewa me baduji chani de de. Odin sonza sem mu ba zoni ti kan le tini gomo de kan kapchile susu ke sem the susu ke dawo. Yes.
Mushi, gomgi mushi.
Semenda. Susu semdo susu.
Ale, mushi gere.
Mushi. Dananga susu semdo susu ngomashi banu chadi rezi.
And if you meditate it again and again, you can even get to know better about one's own mind. Because at least people like me that sometimes I have this sensation of being completely separate from my body from my mind because I don't have my mind tamed. I cannot control my mind. So sometimes it sort of seems to be separation of body and mind in my own experience. And so, but if you take one of these three objects as meditation and keep meditating again and again in this object, and then maybe like slowly you can really focus and very more stable each time of your practice, and then after sometimes you can really like sort of, oh, that's my mind is like that, sort of you can recognize your own mind.
Yeah. Ta lama da sanje la muni tini sozo gom gyap tabayina ani taki konu shiwa na shiri lama zayad da sanje zayad sogo azo la labja sambo chik sambo dili dangure dili chi jo marzi donda labja sambo ma to yo marwa otuso labja sambo to yo da ani sozo shikala muni bayina yang chi sozo lama da chi sanje dili ten to ya o dili yo res.
And if you meditate again and again, even in your teachers, your spiritual teachers, Lama and so forth, you can, it's going to be easier for you to recollect their advices, because actually advices from one's own Lama is just from positive side, right? So all the virtuous advices that you get, you remember, you recollect better, easier and quickly. And also at the time of one's own death, also you can immediately, easier, you can recollect their image or even the image of Buddha.
Tate jeneo mubata tendisiche yimbayina ta jeneo mubata pemese ki chembore karres digana tambo ngona gom hajiwe ngone sozo mubakani chila mini gom gongu yobayina ya mubata yako chi sozo sorgo mubata tembeche ta sozo mubata tembe yako chi nga jimani gom jawna dini de tagara gomgiyin samaro so mubata tenki ba yako chi sogo.
Well, this is what I have to say about object of observation. But to spend more time thinking about the object of observation is very important. It's not just something, one of the topics is to decide to decide first before engaging in the practice is very important. And then when you really decide on which object you visualize during the meditation, and then you really go for that only object of meditation, and then then all the benefit will come. So it's very important. Don't take as granted as something, just one more topic. To understand object is very important.
Yeah, that gumki parching was on what in that gumki parching was on what a gumushi niche, Tambo gumki parchet, Tamato gumjawala, and also parchet, Chitangachani parchet pen momboyuri. Imbayina dina ne parchet, per two the carade, Chinwata Gubani Bude, that gumjawala parchet sure is.
Okay, then let's talk about obstacles of meditation. Well, actually, we have so many obstacles for meditations, right? But the most important or more relevant obstacles, mainly to this practice, are excitement and laxity.
Yeah, that in the Chinwa Sachido, Chinwa the Tarani is Tarani. That Chinwa Rabata Kanado is the so Mubachi Penata. Pena meton do chi gombaina meto ti kan la so same de chi tembo lo chi ni dewa kan shi la ya 아니 지금만 샘도 녀도로다 샘도만 팀되는 거지. 나저희나 베네지 소소 묵좀 샤디간래야지 낙디도 차로도 어데나시로지 아주 문바데 소소 간래 소소 샘바데 데요바 간실래야 아니 샘도스 지 대전거 살보메반로지다 어디니지래야 지금 와라바세.
Okay, actually, so talking about laxity, so we have two kinds of laxity, the coarse and subtle laxity, okay? And to understand this laxity is very important. Let's take when we meditate on the top of a flower. So we decide to visualize a flower. So as soon as we close the eyes and start meditating, mentally visualizing the flower here, our mind becomes sort of, like when we close the eyes, and the mind, because, like become a little bit foggy or sleepy and a little bit heavy. We have some sort of heaviness of the mind. And so in that moment, laxity is on the power, is on command. So in that moment that laxity is stronger, so we cannot see clearly the object. So the flower just become more dark and at certain point just disappear. Well, we will show. So now he will present the graph here, but we online look here. Okay. Okay, we'll talk about the third element.
지금 참모디다 딩진이보데
지금 참모 탄텐진이
딩진이 자자마지나 pen 노르니 쳔보레.
Well, now I'm showing the graph of shamatha, and ani it is rimo deni dortuci mare ani rimo carere ani let's take here in this graph. So the third elephant here in the third stage. So these are the 9 stages. So in the third stage, we have the presence of a small rabbit. So this rabbit is the laxity, shows that laxity. So sometimes we mix laxity with concentration itself.
야 지와타모도 무게나 란치 담보지 니바지 선비 갑라 렙디 다데 지던가 제는데 데셔도 지라 용거래다 이나야 셈데 자네샤도 식체모 렙비 갑라마도 지와타모도 용구요만 세오네샤데 세오네샤데 다 셈네 선비 갑라 셈도 데제 템보 식체모 네트부요소나 디갑려야 자자마지나 지와타모다
Well, we'll explain later, but here in this third stage, when the mind is already advanced in the practice, in that moment, the laxity is subtle, the subtle laxity we arrive, okay? And so, but this is with more advanced practice, but still, in that moment that we have presence of this subtle laxity, sometimes the meditator can mix with, I already got the deepest level of concentration. And the mixing, the mistaking laxity, the subtle laxity with concentration is a very deep fault of the meditation here.
Yeah, tande lanchi sumba de shiba ngaba de sunga ne kawleya ko jiwa chamu de ribonde doa o de ribonde yo sonza di kawleya asaza majina jiwa chamu da tinzi ni de lordi ani ko tinzi ne yakmo magomba jine jiwa chamu de gomshawaina tabe trembaina tembo me bada sheroina sarbo me bachando yo sonza de pesazo che. Yes.
Well, so when we are here in the third stage, fourth and fifth stage, we can see the presence of this rabbit on the top of the elephant. And so the presence of the rabbit on top of the elephant, that is the presence of the subtle laxity during the meditation. So it's very risky. And so there is a big risk on when we are in this very high state of meditation that we end up meditating in laxity rather than meditating on concentration. So it's very important to pay too much attention, understand what is laxity, how this affects, and how not to meditate on the faults rather than meditating in the proper antidote that is concentration.
Yeah. Karre is the Jiwa Tamo ne Kala Kare 곡중요 참모세한테 가르치 요래지가 소소 검자 가르치 임바는 검자 티칸들 소소 셈데야 템보 네트고요. 다 나진 거 파쇼칸 검자데야 세월로 진짜 두고요. 그래서 사보지야 차두고. 다 차버다 가리 요래지데 딩인진다 kunil 차버 가리 요래지가 단다 텔레야 아니 딘디 지원 참모들 사차가 나 사치 나르단 덴바스. 가상니 무게도 등에 채널라 디 가자. 모터가 로트 페샤이바. 오데 고 가르즈데 가시가지 디 로데 시본도 요레데 임바이나 콜라 사차가 나르도. 아니 가시페 사보 임바 때 사보 임바 잔도 마스 페 호트 페 침보 페 파쇼 호트 페 나르도 요데니 데니시도. 오데 이지 돈이 가르네 초 로바지 가상니
The example was when the car has a blue light, then it's very powerful, but some cars have yellow lights, and so it's stable. It shows the objects, but it's not like the cars that have blue lights. It's very, very clear.
Ani, so when we so the faults of having these laxities that we don't see the object clearly, because we are meditating actually in laxity rather than in concentration. So what means to really meditate on concentration is to be able to see the object mentally completely clear, but not only completely clear in front of you and very stable in front of you, but very, not only clear, but very sharp. You see all the details, and so it's not only clear, which brings one of the characteristics that's clear, but also very sharp. For example, in the case of yesterday, we went when we are walking in the street, we see one car with white light. So the white light was so strong that could shows everything, and it was not only very strong light, but also shows everything very clear and very sharp. On the other hand, if there is another car with very strong yellow light, could bright everything, but the things were not appearing like so sharp in such a sharp way. It was not possible. So to understand the difference of this. So the meditation on concentration means to have not only very stable the presence of the object, not only very stable but very clear, and not only clear, completely sharp. All the details appears in your mind. So this is out of the kindness of meditating in concentration and not in the faults.
Yeah. That the Chiwan Sunchigo remote la Semchingo, Senior Chion de Gala, Nipper the Ribon to go carries. Ribon Nipper to go carry, Jadeno that did Matiwaji, that Semchin, Damada Mombo Tia Yoruba, Ni Joa Tia, Tia, Damada Tia, Ribon the Tigo carries.
Well, and then you can ask yourself, why in this graph laxity is being represented by a rabbit? Why not by any other animal?
Yeah, that's same thing. Nani ni kinki pe shikchesho the kara chago reside ribon the chago res. But the insonza kodan chingwa ni de odini jilin rawo yo sonza tigi chan ribon the chago res.
Because maybe among all the animals that we have, maybe the animal that likes so much to sleep maybe can be the rabbit. And so because of the habit of rabbit, like is the like of the rejoicing in sleeping, because of this, and so rabbit is used to represent laxity or sleeping.
Yeah, that then you go la yang tarani yung go la yang tarani.
Okay, and then the second obstacle is excitement. So excitement also we have two subtleties, and so we have the coarse and subtle excitement.
That go about the current is the build doka nagochido, the build doka nagochido, and don't know what the any go about the song. Yes.
Well, and so in the graph, excitement is represented by the monkey. You see a monkey here, and so the monkey also is painted by black, which in this graph is brown. Okay, so the color brown or black in the monkey represent excitement.
나는 다 나고 야랬던 건데.
She said, well, this monkey is not exactly black, she said.
되네.
know.
비유 그런 거 가는 좀 그래서 비유 그런 거 잉어도 좀 그래. 잉어.
And the monkey itself represents scattering. So the diffuse, when the mind is diffuse, is scatter. So this is what represents the monkey, and the color brown or black represents the excitement.
야. 다양 잉어도 고번 손제들이야. 이것도 비유직 뒤고야 가라했어. 와.
And why do we represent these two, excitement and scattering? We use the monkey to represent this.
야. 다 생진 상황이 나니 배 대송촌이 매대니 비유인 손자 제자 그 고바다 코니요 질린다고 인 손자 비천 그 비유도 뒤고.
Well, since the monkey never stays in one place for a long time, so that's the reason that he's too agitated, and so he represents exactly scattering excitement.
야. 다 고바다 가르레지 고바 그런 모든 도차 차시. 도차가 제다지. 디니 그 도차 그 고바 파 인도사도 가르레지 가는데 배나다 디나로 패세오요. 네. 주다 디니 가라 주다 치카도. 자, 지, 조, 렉자. 돈당 같은 노용아 남겨 수다 뒤로 레장아 보카노나 돈당 같은 도자데 게데오. 어때? 디 손자 뒤에서 노용아 보카노나 고바 열라파 션로서 칠로라 같은 셈도 봐. 인도사가 인사던데 수다 뒤로 레장아들. 딘 손젤란 디노데 수다 뒤로 레장아. 디고.
And well, first of all, the monkey is scattering, no, is excitement, but excitement as a mental factor actually is a subdivision, let's say like that, or the same essence of attachment of an attached mind, and what is attached to which kind of object. So here is represented in the graph of, you see, here is the mirror. So the mirror, the melon di zukra, and so the here the 5 objects, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 objects here represents the 5 objects of the sensorial objects, the 5 sensorial objects. And so the mirror here represents all the visual forms. These 2 plates here represent the sounds, the pleasant sounds. And the conch here represents smell, nice smells, and then the where is here is represents tactile objects, the fabric here, and here is sort of fruits. You believe me, it's fruits, and then these fruits represent a taste, objects of taste. And so these 5 objects is the 5 objects of sensual pleasures that attached, that get our attention. That's the reason that distraction or scattering and excitement is the same essence of attachment, because it's attached towards these 5 sensual pleasures. You believe me, like she doesn't understand English, and then he corrects me. Okay. She understands milk and saying milk.
Yeah, that don't go about the don't didn't the down so things go bala and a partial suche. That didn't the order. Jimmy do mukba dance and a trova. Dan trova's the young sim your lamp on trodwe. Or the young dingins so the dingins pay Yawakia, Majin Parchichamuchi Chadioris, Dinibody.
Yeah, and so just like we said, the laxity comes mainly from lethargy, and excitement comes mainly from scattering.
Oh yeah, that one of Parche data Servala, Tablam the Carriores, the Gana Talon the Diodle, Trembat and Shiji Bode, that Ani ko Dagi things give Parche Seriaga pay, 2 Trembat and Shiji Bode, yes.
And then the way of getting rid of these 2 main obstacles is just like we mentioned here, mindfulness and introspection. So with mindfulness, we get rid on laxity, and with introspection, we get rid of distraction or excitement.
Correct. That 디그 데 곰잡사가다 아네드다 곰잡사가 네드 존재란데 컴바트제 아니 네 트라바데 가르에제 곰잡게 곰보버드제 다코 라바데 데려야 되네 고 탁바지 기도하데 젬바 중고래 네 라바 아예 저들 흑자지 기도 어디가 시즌도 중고래스.
Okay, so here in the picture, if you want also to see here, just like okay. So what is showing here? So the first you see sort of house or monastery. So it's the place where the meditator stays. He's staying here, and then the monk here outside represent the meditator. Doesn't matter if it's monk or lay person, but represents the meditator. And then the row. Yes, and so in the two hands of the meditator, it's in the left hand of the meditator, he's holding a rope, the rope of mindfulness, and the other in the right hand is holding the stick of introspection.
Yeah. Then the lamboche.
And then the elephant.
Elephant. I don't
need to translate. I'm going to speak, he said.
Elephant, the elephant, the same to so. Mind.
So the elephant represents the mind.
Oh yeah, and
the black color or the blue color of this in this picture of the elephant represents Chingwa represents laxity, sort of the course. Represents laxity. And then the same question, like why, in order to represent the mind, why do we use elephant and not any other object like lions and so forth, right? Because the elephant is the animal more difficult to tame. So because among all the animals, the most difficult animal to be tamed is the elephant. So the elephant represents our mind.
Yeah, the Gomjamke de Soso same the day. Kuni Gomjamke down the Soso same the Parisiri roads. Chuno by the day, Dibarima, Chuno Muda, Dima Chuchi, Dinima Chuno Chiche, Diniba, the Zambado Che. Oh, that for Gomjamke city, Lambocheta, Parisiri do Cabrado. They got a lot of city gala. Not so same the Chetanachin and also Gila Yore. Yoba inayo, same the Suzu Gila Yoba inayo. Tanda Nicola, Gumbaji Nicola, Suzu, same the Suzu Dako Yawaji Gatu Mionsona, same the Suzu Yibo, the Parisiri Naji. There's a real Yoba which chat your yes. But then Sonjela, Parisiri.
Okay, so these, well, here online is not so clear, but here it's very clear. Can you see that the meditator here and the mind? You see the meditator and the mind. In between, there is this blue thing here. There is a stream of water. And here there is a stream of water, and here there is a small bridge. And what this represents that in the beginning, when the meditators start meditating, when we start meditating, we sort of have the sensation that we don't have relationship with our minds. It's not that relationship, sort of we cannot control our mind. We are completely separate. Sort of we are hopeless in taming, sort of, because we are not related, sort of like that. So that's what represent the water stream here. That is, we perceive our mind very far from us. Okay.
Yeah. Da ona soso gomjamni da soso semni dun rewa mebari vesne rewa meba mareste yo chu kan pa zamba do jido de zamba de kan songo ze on de kana cosa io conto come te. Cosa io come vado a io conto come te.
Ya dara grandita da.
Oh. Ya da. Yeah, to mundo. Ode
Ode
Zambate Ode Zambate Carres the same ko gum java boda and so same body or Landriva Yobatum Songo.
But then, well, as we said, that the meditator and the mind seems to be far away, right? Seems to be like no relationship at all. It's not connected. But then really the mind and the body are not connected? No, they are connected. That's what represents the bridge. Here it's a bridge, seriously. Yeah, so the bridge here represents the connection.
Yeah,
Seriously. Yeah, when is it women? That came in the no, that came in the
Oh yeah, that is one. Yeah, that is a little chela. The yani that what chesa that temper the shishing you go to Taki Gonja with things Gumalaya, Parchitu, Chima the Gobani Sergeres. That can Sergeres they are Tembi Chima Serochelas, Temba the Chima Serocheres.
So as we said, so the two main obstacles for meditation, so it's laxity and excitement. And so laxity and excitement, we have to really use, we have to rely on these two antidotes in order to have a good meditation.
Yeah. Da deni shijing kar serochigres de gobat serochigres.
And the mindfulness. If you use proper mindfulness, all the laxity will disappear, right? Because it's the antidote towards the fault of laxity. And introspection is a direct antidote towards excitement.
Yeah, that the order. Kir tamba da shije gusar karre la bainas telea. Ani pena denikara pena gius da Villa Mayoni, Dangaso Spola Mape, Vicayo Nijimas, and in me Momo Magazo Tum, Tindila Dovi Cable, Soso Spola Ma, Shichimuji Yobaina, Pasho Mitupe, as of the Majo, Zemodo, Tinijin, Do de Yobain. That's also Martin even the Tango, Soso Lula Martin Yoba the Ten, Tembatam Gatumaris, Soso Mata Son to Yapoche, yes, they pay.
And then just like in the example of if you have a big wound in your body, and then let's take that we decide to go to town or to any crowded place. So in this crowded place, we meet many people, and these people are just like doing random gestures, like walking and acting and so forth. And so they really can harm us. So in that moment, we have to keep in mind that we have this wound, right? This wound in our body in order to protect this wound and not to get hurt even more.
Yeah, that they know they did on Ranya Maso Gotrola, that's so me Momo Trondo, that didn't do with Kalas, and do with Kable, Docha, Control so, TV, Kin Joanas, that's also with Gelayat, Docha TV, Kin. You're not in the Control Kivala, so we didn't begin to this join Nekalas, Joanas. Same year, man, that same Taki. Chingwa the Goba County one, Yana Docha Jedana Soba, same German, Manchiche. They did co Jimbies. And Gabo Lantur, Mujibi, Jembatans. That Casapabi Sozo, and Docha Kina Dig, Kondocha Makibi, Tabla Karkariche Gugumit, Jembatengu, yes.
And so this, when we go to these big crowds, what means this? When we meet people, when we meet people here and there, or many or a few of them, but when we meet people, because they are the external conditions for our inner wounds. And what means the inner wounds or the wounds of our mind is our attachment or our anger and so forth. And so because we are easily attached to our external objects, or out of the external objects, we feel this anger. And so we have to remember that this is the wound of our mind, and then we have to protect. And how to protect is to remember to use mindfulness in order to not give rise to attachment towards these external people and so forth. And what is the method, or what is the way of not getting under the force or under the control of attachment? So we have to use mindfulness understanding that we have these wounds, the mind wounds. And so what are the methods, or how can we not give rise to these attachments and so forth?
Yeah, that Shijingi Jawan the Rigdan, Meri, the coach Jawa de Diniching Samlona, Dini Samna, Dikiri Dikumares, Dinichi Samna, Ko Mandubaji Reves, or Dinichi Ko Sozo Taki Chivitonis, Jara Chesena, Taki Chis. And start the same sona, and Sozo Kesan Yabu Ravides, Sozo La Pento Yabu Yungres. And then Nichon was the Gala, so now in Las of the Dogumares, so the same Trikumares.
And then, so this was the use of mindfulness, right? And then to use the introspection, what means to use introspection is to give rise to that mind that is the checks, just like police, that checks what our mind is doing in that moment. So our mind is really doing this virtual activity, or is really focusing that activity, or is already distracted. And so that what means to check what it's doing. So this is the function of introspection. And so if we use the proper functions of introspection, and then we don't let our mind to get distracted towards external objects of desire.
Yeah. Dan Dordishana Karkanila Songores, so Gumjabi Kavleya. Gomjaga donde Trambi Majebachini Yapo, Jini, Tigana Sem the Yaboji, Tembo, Serbo, searching Nartan and Bitoni, so send the Gomjag to the Gonkana Yabuch, Tembo Dego, yes. Ane, de on the Kalaya, Ane, Zurnian, Kalea, Kavlea, no same the Tata Tingola Dendu, Mudu, so Semlea, Shijang Chara Chiki, Kadina Shijang Chara Cheku, Sem Tembo Ticana, de Yobicalia. Karza Jamba Machin the Deona and Co Charachigo. Yinaya Kavlea, same the Tata Tingala de do Mudu, or Dijini Chara Chiki.
So in Brave, when we meditate, so we have to use not always, but we have to use these two antidotes. So mindfulness and introspection. So to be mindfulness is to really to have that the object visualized very present. So it's very stable in that our mind very stable in that object, right? And sometimes we have to use also introspection, which means, well, let's check if our mind is still very stable in that object that we decided in the beginning. But if our mind is really stable and very present in the object of visualization, we don't need to use all the time the introspection. So sometimes use the introspection, or use the check what our mind is doing or not is important, not all the time. So this is the importance of using these two antidotes.
Yeah. Young Kashi Dini Karre, that's also Dindichin and Jogom Chibi Kalia, Shijing Nichara Chiki China, so send the Indo Maraves, Yan Tins Tembo Nebalia, Pachichig Maraves, Yan Dilitoba.
Some people also have doubts that, well, when I'm doing the single point meditation and I'm completely focused in that object, if I check what is my mind doing and so forth, like I'm using introspection, my mind is not going to be distracted towards this thought of checking the thing.
Yeah, that you might know this John Chigmar things that you are like the John Chigmar, Karre, Suzu Gomjag, Tunga, Mubat, Tani. Shijing Chara Chigo Mars, Muba Kalaya, Suzu Tamba, the Kapasha Shabi Tony, Aniko, Low Serbachica, Aniko, Tikana Tembo de Yome, de Tago Remato, Fashion Muba the Tani, Kotaki Chigo Maris. But
well, there's no problem of doing this while you're focusing in a very stable way to your object. It's not that, well, I'm gonna check what my mind's doing, and then you just forget the object of meditation. No, it's not like that. You keep visualizing the object of meditation, but then sort of you just use as a condition, as a tool of, well, is it still looking that object is still appearing or not? It's just like that. It's not that you separate, well, now I'm not gonna look at to the object anymore, and then I'm gonna check. It's not like this. So these two informations are not contradictory.
Yeah. Danda di Kalia, Soso Lubola Mano, you by the day, Mimambu Yam to do the Kala Sonju Chetan, Page Sonson, Pemsi Yabo, or Dere, Chick Dere. And you are the Nazar Kankor, sarva jamvi kavla kar chevi yomi oduso pejani semle jandar tanta ya dagarang chipe chikyam mazo pe na kankor tambo jamvi kavla ya ko tikang ya pe jomba tsam ya chetu mudo dirpa ridu do loya tambo dini kapjile ya te joni te tu dini kale dini pha te ro to dini pha te odini chine kapjile dini pe kom soni kala ko karjine ro thuya chaya do Pete naji suzu gomjavi kavle na suzu semdi dinichini gomdi teya samlo tangore mat lamsa pe choni nima chini chik lamsa gomthoya dini yang samlo tangju.
The example of the wound here that we said, it's a very important, very illustrative example. It's very nice. And also just like when you're learning how to ride a bike. So if you don't know how to ride a bike and immediately we just jump into the bike and go riding the bike, like that's not possible. We first have to step a little bit in the bike and then try to find our balance, and then slowly one step to step, and then slowly without the legs, and then just after without the hands and so forth. And so just like that, we cannot just jump into the meditation without checking and without using some tools to help to improve this meditation.
Yeah. Diso de kati yaga yores na joba diso de yaga yores yandana dinala me tu joba de kala ale nimi konda da sola gomjab chome sare sasando de marda di diso kanani gomjab diso yaksho no de kar chag yores de kala joki de chag yores.
Well, so let's talk about the proper meditation. When to engage in the meditation? Well, usually it's morning time is the best, but doesn't mean that, well, so I cannot meditate afternoon and evening time. Is not like that. But the best time to meditate because of the clarity of the mind is morning time.
Karichini joki de yaga yore labain joki mitsu manchia da niki de jini shida zang shida yomarwa shi cholola. Ani sozo no yimbaina gonda tsena gonda kazan pe kale kha de yobaina dango ma nichi ni sadigala sozo luida semnikala narso yapoji tebio son dini achi lani sozo gomjabaina luisem nikala deze kuchi ta chia de ser de yosonza digi joki yaga yorela dere.
Because in the morning time, in the early morning time, most of people are still sleeping. So usually the environment is very quiet. So that's the first external favorable condition, that quiet place. And also if you meditate nighttime, like you already been through all the busy day and you're tired and so forth. And so in order to avoid this tiredness, the heaviness of the body and mind, and so meditate morning time is better.
Yeah. The sonza ngarzo ya niki goya de pekiche moreda. Ya tatirisani de kaba Yodigana Penchen, Monsenala Pe, Kaba Kanya Tani, Ani Tata Nigoya Tiso de la Mani, Sanya Ya Joki Alam de Lama Tatimuda, Udini Chijo Marimoto, Karade Sitikana, not so Libun Soala, Gibi Ju Shisach. Suzu Libun Troten the Dinilla. Karade Kala the Chirava, Tanajinga Nire, or the Ni Tininzere, Oda de Tachitaka, Tachi Temos, Doda, and need the Kichisho Segor.
Well, to have a really good sleep is absolutely important, right? Nowadays we have the very bad habit of looking at the mobile until very late night, and then because we keep, and we enter into the mobile until very late night, and then we cannot sleep so early. And then we also sleep a little bit in an agitated way. And then morning time, we cannot wake up. And so bring us a little bit of agitation, too much agitation. But usually we say that we have some features or some requisites together in order to have a good health and a good meditation, which is to eat proper in the exact amount, to have a good sleep, to have the proper concentration, and some other features that now I don't remember. The most important is to have a good sleep.
Yeah. gonda mishi ta nya ni mishi ta da das joki ya la mishi pa da das pa pa da res se da pa pa da be joki be da khar zin be shi chi ni ne ni chi ki o mares ni chi ba no troten la no res gore.
There's a Tibetan proverb that says, nighttime, it seems like a horse. Why seems like a horse? I don't know if you already saw a horse during the nighttime, but usually in nighttime, all the horses are completely awake. They are completely awake and full of energy and so forth. And then the proverbs also says, and morning times, it seems to be like a pig, like a pig. Why? Because in the morning time, all the pigs they are just very difficult to wake up, so sometimes we are like this: nighttime like a horse, and morning time just like a pig.
다 저러서 때 하모고나 다 니마치 따지지다 하고 그래. 따도 본담 세나고나 남사 니근도도 거야라니 데데도 된 저러서 따다 하고 그래. 아니 파파도서 쇼키페 조니페 자고 그래. 어디 나시 지겨 말해서 다데 돈다 딘디 마치니지 소소 니고야 디소 달라 따다 니 야랑고야 디소 따다 달랑바이나 아니 디소 저등가 전에 검겨라 디소요 말해서 임바이나 디소 가디 잡는 디게레스 임바이나 쇼키 디소도 양야쇼지 차거레스.
If you don't have the taste of what means a horse nighttime and pig morning time, one day you have to have a look, okay? You have to go to the farm and whatever, and please have a look in how the horses, they stand like this, very awake, and also very awake, and also morning time, how the pigs, how they snore. You have to have a look in this. Okay, but so please don't do as them, okay? Like don't be a horse nighttime, don't be a pig morning time. So what you have to do is to really have a really good quality of sleep. Go to bed in the right time. Wake up early in the morning. If you can meditate, it's better. Of course, we don't have a proper time to meditate, but if you can meditate in morning time, it's better. Do like that.
Yeah. 다 되네 윤센들 다 공개의 윤센들 가져서 겁나 야가 요레스. 다 윤센. 되네 디나는데 윤센 통나 장마와 지도와. 소소 공개비 깔래 아마도 공개나 야보 요레 셈발로로 자그레 딘딜라 다 공개고 사례 삼네 빼 추존이 추존이 데데와이나 아니 담보 테마치 데토 니 데도 갑질래 람산 기로한테 태우고면서 되니 파리제 루이 탕치 셈 탕치 되니 제니 아니 공교니 잠이 못와 차로요 손자 공개비 깔래 인센데 투두 공고레 스페나 카마치 저고 되니 안 루이다 셈이가 랑아서 야보 야 카마치 공 되니 진 장가다 몽보 니마레레라 장가 가조 몽보 공tum나 야가 요레스 인나 인센데 투두.
Okay, the second feature is to engage in proper meditation is for short period, but repeatedly, we said here, right? You don't have to go straight to the meditations like, okay, I'm going to be a very good meditator and I sit straight to 1 hour meditation or the whole day meditation. Like, you don't do like that. This is stupid. So what you have to do is to really, he didn't say stupid, but something like that. Okay. But what you have to do is don't take for a long time in the beginning, but what you have to do is to do very short meditations, but many times a day. Okay, so let's say that you meditate for 1 minute, and then after meditate 1 minute you rest for 1 to 3 minutes, and then again 1 minute, and repeatedly many times. To do many times of short meditations is absolutely important, and you can do many short meditations the whole day.
뭐게 도제던도 솔라 가시 공정네 디네 데데노 데리지가 다 고소 이름 보디 하는 거는 빠지 되냐 니키 하는 거 한테 야 데네 야 데도 야 빠빠르제 니키 데네 노 데야 데네 제나 베노 용거 맞대 디엔 소사 데네 니키야로다 데니 주림보 데데와 있는 주니 야보 메인소다 제자 인슨 투두 장가 마모 제거레서 데데.
In Bodh Gaya, there is some meditators that they really sit like that, and like for such a long time, like, yes, I'm very big meditator, and sometimes you can see that the very big meditators, they are just like like falling to sleep. And so what means this, that yes, they are not engaged in meditation, they're engaged in sleep. And so that shows that just to do long meditations is not relevant. It's important to do short, but many times.
Yeah. This is remote so go mare. This so 가서 또 단다다 때에 곰 도사리 삼바도 지샤. 자니 되니 소소 때에 로로지나 갑질래야 소소 배 샘나 곰디 하고 태원이가 갑질래 디소 힘보 한신도 차노. 소소 샘나 곰식도 태원이가 곰 디소 가서 야와이나야 깔레메바지 차요리 디감 베나가서 디 깡거타한테 지바리. 소소 담보 깡거타마시티 때에 맞던 로시미도. 갑질래 깡거 곰 송바이나 배 가서 배 타림보 도고나 배 되니 라파타 타니니 코니도 다데니 배 어디 때나신도 초그레스. 제가 디소 리모트 소소 고마르다 이 갑지가 곰지 대선이가 그 리모 차도 그 뒤에 소자 담보 공사 사대자미 소 뒤에 투두서 그 백기시모레스.
And actually, here we say short period, but of course it's going to increase slowly. But you don't need to set, okay, now I'm going to do long meditation, because the long meditation will come naturally. As soon as the mind become already used to, familiar to, and very stable. So slowly, the mind itself will increase a little bit the time, okay? Just like when we are learning to ride, right? To ride a bicycle, a bike. And so right in the beginning, from the beginning, you don't manage to ride long distance. So you go slowly, but then slowly your body is become naturally used to, and then you can go further and longer distance until the time that you don't need to be so tense in the in here. And then you can even ride the bicycle like without hands, even without looking at the street. You can look here and then even talk and so forth, like immediately, naturally. Why? Because the mind is already used to this process of riding the bike. Likewise, the meditation also, the mind, when is already used the process of stabilizing in that visual object. So slowly, naturally will increase the time of the period of meditations.
Pena soso nyamarelela chuso chi gomja야 그 디소다 동기요 바이나 맞아 빼샤긴다. chuso chila soso gomjawi야 사마도 디레지 치바이나. 디나니 아니 karma chila soso 야고 지금 다 운종고 곰나다 소소 가르 곰나 소 karma chitele 야고 지금 데데 빼세 야마 마영와 진 야고 지페 데야 빼 세오 지금 돈곰 데니 karma shila 니소잡 양 까마시들라 로로지 니소잡 양 소소고 직자다 동고나 되지 양 디바리들 양 까마 지고 까마 지고 양 까마 지고 양 까마 실라 니소잡 데니 제니 다 주소 지그나로라 까마 중니라 주소 중니라 까마 중니라 곰 디릴 하마들라 니소잡 직자 동야도다 소소 데지 반즈도야도다 양 까까라 곰 야당 뜻을 드는 때에 로경치야도 드리도지 오 드리드리 니마레레라 드리드리 제 니로와이나 아니 곧 zankhor dawa lo 드리도 오니까 소소 좀 텐데 야부토야요 갑질라 드니 소소 karma 니라고 아니 갑질라 karma 숨 곰토야 드니 진이 파리 보리 모차도 어디 이번에 내가
for example, just an example, if one decides to meditate every day for 1 hour, okay? So within this hour, so one meditate for 1 minute. So after 1 minute, one relax for, let's take 4 minutes. And then within these 4 minutes, one just relax, thinking anything, just go for a walk, sometimes have a coffee and so forth. Then come back again to a meditation. Meditate again for 1 minute. 1 minute, finish, just leave. And then again, 4 minutes, relaxing. Then again, 1 minute meditation. Sort of in this 1 hour, one can meditate sort of 12 times of 1 minute, okay? And in between the free time, or like the resting time, so whatever, if you can read a little bit of meditation or listen to some teachings or take your coffee or whatever, it's fine. But it's important to have these repeat sessions, okay? And then slowly from 1 minute increase to 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, then relax. 2 minutes, relax, and then 3 minutes, relax, and so forth.
Yeah, but that did. Then so same the cards that Jimno Rainbow Chigores did Jimno Rainbow said the Gana Penazo Dani Kubachido. the hajang pe chimbo tejana ko dat yungu mare yang pe lolo zo shaba ina dat yungu mare ko de dada ji che dada ngolo jana dine dat pe nimo yago yungu ba pe de na ji sozo sem hajang pe jumbo chini shibo ji tambo ji jo mare yang sem pe hajang pe lolo majo ji dine che rembo ji ton shaba res.
And also to have a proper balance between focusing and relaxing. Here we put, right? What means that? Just like the guitar, the strings of the guitar. So the strings of the guitar, if it's too tight, the sound doesn't come. Likewise, if it's too loose, also the sound doesn't come. Likewise, if our mind is too tight, it's too tense, too focused, so the meditation really will not come. And likewise, if it's too relaxing, so has the risk of falling to sleep and so forth. So it's good to have the proper balance into focusing and also being relaxed. Since Robert is a good player of guitar, and so that's the reason that we ask him.
Yeah. That you all the lagarres, the young kitchen carriores, Lelota, not so gumla young pay guni matu be lelota, don't the lelo. Lelo seria to pick chimores, Lelo the Sero Chebale, Caragores, Sundi ni tengores, Sundi ni.
And also another, we have to apply for the antidotes for laziness. So usually it's very important to apply the antidotes for laziness. That is two kinds of efforts.
Sundi in the car is the Kujur Sundi, Tajur Sundi is. Kujur Sundi is the compassion of the Gomia de la Gava, Gabo Yoga Chiche, and the day about Sundi by Juntunichi and the Tajur Sundi is.
So what are these two efforts? So one is the joyful effort. Joyful effort, that is that effort that is happy, feels like rejoice in the practice of meditation. And the other effort is the continuous effort, which has the determination of keeping continuously the practice of meditation. So we have to rely into these two efforts.
Yeah, that is only need to page the peki chimor carres de canade zuni ni gungo haja karche des the low trip pena low trip lota puchi yoga inas ko choni lo jonda lota la choni gabo mewa ina ta pu di choni lo jon ya ko yung marwa ta yimba ina ko lota ndo la gabo lo jon la gabo yoga ina ya diri lota la ndo sanyi la mando yana dendra chila mando dini chini juntani mando na ko lo jonde yabo jungumdo cheza nija gumdo ko lo dala ya gabo yoba lo dala juntani ndo o di nija yoba ina ko lo jonde yabo jungumdo te pe.
And also there is one example that is very important. I think it's very illustrative. That is in the case of a student. If the student likes to study, so always goes to the school in order to go to the class, to school, because he likes this. But just having this joyful thought, and then but sometimes goes to the school. This student sometimes goes to the school, sometimes doesn't go to the school. So actually in the end, this student, even though like to what he's studying, but will not have the proper basis. So what is also important, not just to like the practice of studying, but also to keep consistent, to keep continuously into the practice of study.
Na lo tando anaji chejo marista na lo usually chudo ba lo shela lo tando uji na lo doga chere da lo tando mukila ndoya gabo yo yimba ina lo tando gabo yo de ina lo tando ni lo chuni chego marda vedikala jami gidi yike tone ngaro ko miya ya ko tishingo marela ani ansido de de ya ko shibyo no cheza tindi chejo mares ko de do gabo yo ba kanshila ko lo che lo juntini che dinichi buyo sonda pen te na jendile ani soso gomjawala songa gela toa go ko kar gomjawala toa tili yapo yobaji tin tola muntani nyumarele la muntani gomgoya o dinichi chebaina ko tumdechi toya
Yeah, don't be a student of a school just like I was. So I just been to the school from my 14 to 17. So from 14 to 17, it was the only chance that I went to normal schools and in Tibet. But actually, well, I did so I like it to go to the school. But well, I was not that focused and I was not that consistent. So that's the reason that I couldn't write my name in Chinese. In that moment, it was forbidden Tibetan, so just Chinese. And so I badly could write my own name. So, and sometimes I went, sometimes I didn't go to the school. So don't be a bad student as I was in the class. So here. And here, that's the reason that we said that it's very important to not only to have this joyous effort, which is really like the matter of meditation, but always to be continuous, to have consistency in the practice of meditation.
Yeah. That the other young cardos, and Namtomana, Mola, Unjong Gumna legs. That in the Susu Semla, Susu Yang Hakoba, Susu Te, Namto Mambo Yoba in the Imbaina. 아니 저 단다 딩인자 마금이 몰래 담보 남도도 마시 조리 당하라 아니 우종인데 공고레스 야 소소소소가 생라 따지지니 소소 도차식 첨부지 요니 지임바이나 니버도 디고 님몰래야 아테 마시 조리 당하라 미디바 공고요레스 다데나 지금 나르지식 첨부 요니 지임바이나 아니 잡아 감기라위 어디니 공고야다 아니 콩로식 첨부요바이나 잠바 공고야 어다디니 몸무슨
just like it's also important to recognize the state of the mind before engaging in the meditation in order to choose which meditation to do in that moment. So let's take that our mind is too agitated in that moment, and so to focus the mind into the breath meditation, into the breath, one's own breath, it's very beneficial in order to reduce that random thoughts. And if the mind in that moment is too attached, like the presence of attachment is too strong, and so one decide for as an object of meditation something unpleasant. One meditate under the unpleasant aspect of the body that one is attracted to. If the mind is too agitated towards is too pride in that moment, or in those days it's too pride, so it's agitated by one's own arrogance or pride. So it's good to meditate on how many the diverse or infinite objects of knowledge that we have, because usually we just know a little bit, but we feel under the force of arrogance that we know everything. And so then if you contemplate that the things of knowledge, the objects of knowledge are infinite, and then our arrogance become a little bit quiet, stop a little bit. And then if one is too agitated towards anger, hatred and so forth, so meditating love, it's also very beneficial.
Yeah, 다나 지금 팀 시험을 요니 되는 바이나 될래야 텐트 공고 요레스. 다 되네 야 지금 되는 녀모도서 지금 참냠바 시체적 지바로 이바이나 아니 야 대다가 녀몰래야 아니 소소가 아니 가르사 아니 다대고 참냠바이나 소소가 무바 가르 건거 무바 가드 되와이나 베나 지금 소소 대검나 되게레스. 되네 식총화다 다 참냠바도 식총화 가리임바이나야 무바 가야노 소소가 생래야 지금 대보요바 간디지바이나 어때요 무바소니 검나 되게레스.
Likewise, if one feel that the ignorance is too strong, and so to meditate in dependent origination, it's nice, it's beneficial. Likewise, if one doesn't feel that in those days, one is too attached, one is too angry, or one is too ignorant. So all these three main poisons, they are sort of equal. And so if one feels that it's a little bit equal, so one can take any object of observation or any kind of meditation and engage in that meditation is also fine.
Yeah. Then that young control sabo yimminzade milakaja tia hago marda. Na control sabo do Dini passion de shada hago marwa. Odeso suzuga sem the suzuga hago yososa, suzuga sem gananola kaki shichimuva. Odeta tayare madu milkajetini koyaji chomate.
But let's take that one is too irritated person or too angry person. Well, to ask another person, well, am I angry, an anger person? So it's not that useful. So one has to be very honest and genuinely ask oneself. So how is my biggest fault or my biggest unvirtuous state of mind? And so under this, then one recognize about anger and so forth, and then meditate.
Dagi soso sempe alanche nyomba dan dagi soso semte nyas temba dan shijing zimbi toni ani soso gomja dondela ani pe tembo chini anetab chego yores.
So the Pandita Pandalin said in Essence of the Middle Way, he said, here it's written, right? The elephant-like mind goes wrong. The to hold is stable as a fixed pillar. Use the rod of mindfulness and the wisdom like axe. X. Okay, X. The stick. Okay. And so why is that in Brave? What is the meaning of this? Is that, well, our mind is too agitated. And so in order to tame this mind, we have to use the two pillar or the two antidotes of mindfulness and introspection. And using this, we hold our mind tight, and then we can train our mind into be stable in one object, and then we increase our wisdom and so forth.
Yeah, that mushi things on mushi go on the Kalaya, Takares, the seven of the things go or the Gumbalatini, the Janet of Chiku, yes, that did it.
Okay, so finally we came to the 9 mental abidings or the 9 stages of meditation, which represents in this breath. Okay, and here these 9 stages means before attaining the stage of shamatha or calm abiding, which is a mind, which is an aspect of the mind, before attaining this, we have to go through these 9 stages.
Yeah, that they are number 2. Tombo didn't do it. They do it. Pandikalia, you get Lambochi Chitangachendias in the Lambochi Chuchigo, Lambo Chuchigan, you get Lambochi Chivachigo, Lambochi Chivaganekla. The Trabatic Juni did it on him. What they got is the Galea, the Ticaleata, Jone, that Tamagati, Senator Gutins, Gugumalatini, Tatigo, and the Jone, Toby, remote bigger, a lunch Chuchibatre, how much Chuchiba.
Chukchi, Diga, Chuba, 10th. Yeah. Very good English. And then so in this graph, so we can see here the 10 elephants. So all the elephants are mind, okay, mind being tamed. And then when finally we achieve the stage of shamatha or calm abiding, is what is represented in the 10th elephant here. So this just here is the shamatha, the culmination of shamatha, or when we give rise to the shamatha in our continuum.
When I saw it to go, the Lambochi won the action, the Lambochi Tamboni, you get the Guba, but that's a little bit goes at the day. That the Tambo Telea, Nanila Semjo was. That the Kalea Lambochi, Hajing Pepper, Paseloni, Shoto. Mida Queen Dermichinico, the Tabata de Sugasm Tumdo, or the Caveata, Nanila Sim Job. That's him the Muguacala, Yinsin to do Gila Kojasa, Jenny, Co, date of Chia, the Lazio, or Nanila Sim Job, the Lanchi Tambotich.
Well, the very first stage of meditation is the setting the mind. We call setting the mind in English. And what is when is this? Is when the meditator starts. The very first moment of meditation is when the mind is just, the meditator just places the mind into the object of observation, but the mind is still too agitated. Can you see that the meditator and the elephant, they are far, and the rope and the stick cannot tame the elephant. So it's this. It's because the meditator can just briefly and roughly place the mind into the object of meditation. This is what represent here in the very first stage, which is the setting the mind.
Oh yeah. The solar merit the Tindo me. 네 메르데 무긴 첨부 메르 첨부 첨부 디디아 총총총도 도도 디가 가르 총고래 지디가 담보 소소가 아니 곰 담보 잡이 까달라 무바 디가 칸라 잠바다 시즌 베 땡원데 칸라 쪼와 첨부 쪼니 첨부 고니 땡고요 손자 어디 손도들야 디니 담보 셈 무긴 마니나 셈 조파 디니가 네컵라 쪼니식 첨부 땡고 어디 총고래스데
Can you see here some flames? Here's better, but can you see here some flames? Here there is flames, flame here, and the first flames are bigger than the last flames. Can you see here in the end of the fifth stages? So the fifth stage flame is smaller than the first one, right? What represents the flame? Represent the effort that one has to apply or has to use mindfulness and introspection. So as the mindfulness and introspection is needed, and so one has to effortlessly and forcefully use mind and mindfulness and introspection in order to place the mind into the object. And then slowly that the mind will becomes more and more tame, and then the flame become smaller, which means there is no need to put so much effort into these two antidotes, mindfulness and introspection, until the moment that one doesn't need at all to use these two antidotes in order to tame the mind.
Yeah. That's something niva the karas jundu jobas the kan tambo sim muba kan la jati kan koti kan la jat samado ma juntuni suzu sem de jatu marwa da yuki nani la sim joba de kum chon de kan kap chile ani suzu sem de muba di kan le ma juntuni pena karma chini ni sum chile ma juntuni de to ya de la jundu jobas.
The second here is the continuous of the mind, is the second stage, second mental abiding or second stage of meditation. And what means this? Well, in the first stage, we just could merely place the mind into the object, right? But in the second is when the mind is not just placed into the object, but has a certain continuity on the placement. And so maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes, that mind can be very stable in the object, visualizing the object. That's the reason that the second stage is called continuous setting the mind.
Yeah. Da lande jo karza re lande jo bas. Semne sumba nekola tine lande jo bas dikala karre sidikal. Sozo semde da gobi wong ya chlola pha yin do ya de. Da yinwa de ngosem bi toni yangjer gomja kan la sem tembo petso jaya de la tembi zone tembo jaya de la ya lande jo bas semne sumba.
And the third stage here, can you see that the third stage, the mind, what's the name of the third stage? Is resetting. What means resetting? Tibet is not exactly this word, but resetting is taking back the mind, again, taking back the mind. What is that? Is that when the mind becomes distracted towards the sensorial object, so immediately the mind recognizes that it is distracted and brings back the mind towards the object. And so that's what represents like the rope holding the elephant. And so this when the mind can bring back the distracted mind towards the object of meditation, in this stage the meditator is already in the third stage.
Yeah. Carbon Pingol, Yama Carbon, Chato, the Carres, Chinwada, Gobani, the Dete, Tion the Sim, Chinwada Gobi on the Manduachini, Dete, Chinwada, Gobani, Dezima, Kunima, Des Nyamdria.
Nipatan Sumba or Nipa Chupa.
Simi Nibo, Simi, Kashi, the Chichi do.
You can see from the second and third and so forth stage that the head of the elephant and the head of the monkey becomes a little bit white, right? Here is a little bit white, and here in the third is the whole head of the elephant and the monkey is already white and so forth, and then increase the whiteness. Why is this? Because it represents that either the laxity, either the excitement becomes less strong. So the less stronger, like the weakness of these two folds, is represented by whitening the head of the elephant and the monkey.
단데 세네스비 가라 람보체데 게라 타바 고 다기 타바가 섬데노 다디 가려 데지 셈데 고 네차데 데지 치리로 요 송자 데지 소소가 셈데 소소가 데지 다보 토야 네거.
Can you see here in the third stage that the meditator is holding with the rope the head of the elephant? Means that the meditator in that moment is stronger, the condition or the ability of taming, of bringing the mind back to the object, and so that's what represents by this holding by the rope.
단데 이세네 선비가 람보체데 데데진 파한고네 고jam이 간다데 데데진 파 ጤጤ도 데가르 가르 총고요레 지디간 소소고 셈데 곰자그 가오니 파 인도와데 인와도 뭐 데니 무슨기요레 다티 셈네 선비감니 인도데 간라 남산남산 무슨 투비야지 총고.
Can you see that the third elephant here is with the head backwards, like towards the meditator? What means this represents that the mind can recognize when it's distracted. So when it's distracted and immediately goes back towards the object of meditation. So when it goes back towards the object of meditation is what represents like looking back towards the meditator.
다 데니 셈니 데니 시비까서 네버 좁아스 다 네버 좁아스 디가나 가르지 다기 셈네 선비까네 파인 셈데 파인이 인와데 신이 제니 셈데 야무기고라 쳐샤야 되와 단다 셈네 시비까네 파 가자 디 나윈다 또고 니무 신이 다 소소 셈데 디와도 도요바 람산 도도지비 까네 모즈비 토니츠 오미비까네 데모 샤야 되서.
Well, so in the third stage is that when the mind is already distracted, but immediately you can hold back towards the focus object, right? The fourth is when the mind is about to be distracted, then immediately comes back or stays in the object of meditation. So it's more prevents the distractions and it's more clear, can see clear the object.
Yeah. That's should be no kawla torur cheba stikana kariyong yores. That's suzu same de basho suso tor ngazin digdo sigdala sopala ya basho doyade digo netanda kania shingyore la dana dika shibiton that sola ya pa ko nyembo teni chi pena suzo pena chawalo ujiga wanda duyo pena katola chabe nyembo ani ayibla chabe nyembo odia nyembo to lamsa teni soso same de ani tembo neto chia de.
So the fifth stage, you can see that it's disciplining. And so why is disciplining? Because the mind is already tamed or disciplined towards the five objects of distraction, five sensorial objects. So the mind at that moment is can recognize when the objects are getting their attention and doesn't distract towards these five objects of distraction. That's the reason that it's disciplining the name of the fifth stage.
Yeah. Then the same Nabi Kavlea young Gomjamia the Takis Kolambochi Mil and Rodin Doji, or the Dini Dodo, they big the Lambochi Gila, taking on the jig the door teeth. Then the Gilino, but then the Dandi Kavlea, Caruso Gores, the Kansa the dates. Kansa the Gomja, Tenisi on the Kala, so Nami that didn't want the Chimbo Mandova. Tenzin, Kansa de la Wancha was in the same la Wanjala, Kansa de la Wancha, Tenzin.
Can you see that? And can you see that in the fifth stage, so the meditator is in front of the elephant, right? And so why is in front of the elephant? Because he's on control. It's not the afflictive mind was in control until then. But from the fifth stage, the meditator, the person is in control of the mind. So he can tame the mind. He can control the mind towards in order to not become distracted towards the external objects and so forth. That's what represents like the meditator in front of the elephant-like mind, the mind like elephant, and what doesn't happen in the fourth stage.
That what the Jor Chebaz there was. Jor Chebaz the Kana Karasongo is the Kana. That Namto now you let you on the Tini, and it's also Jene Gumba la Magavi, Lelo, at the Nisero Chibina, Jor Chebaz.
The sixth stage here is pacifying is the name. Why is pacifying? Jinwa Ragana. Jinwa. Now, so in the sixth stage here, pacifies the distraction. So in order to, because he already pacified all the distractions that we just talked about in the fifth stage, that's the reason that he can control the mind, can control this agitation, this excitement, and then is already pacified the external distractions.
That the cousin in the Shikshibo led to you.
In that moment, in this stage, the effort, he's using mainly the power of effort in this stage.
That's him. Dumba the number Shivaji, the Kana Chasim, the Yimodeva, the Nupa, Daniela Soba, number Geni, Sem Mubala, Demo de Taviata. And the sixth stage here, the sixth stage also, when we are too agitated, and so we sort of increase the laziness towards the meditation. Like we're just a little bit lazy, and also not just lazy, but we don't like so much. We give rise a little bit to uneasy and not liking mind towards the meditation. So in order to pacify this kind of distraction or dislikeness on the meditation, so we arrive in the when this dislikeness is already pacified. So it's the sixth stage, and in the seventh stage is when the meditator and when the meditator sometimes when is meditating, so also still comes a little bit of the attachment, like some strong attachments comes either to the own practice, and so this attachment that gives rise in the mental continue, this strong attachment also becomes pacified, and so that's the reason that the seventh stage is the utterly, the throughout pacifying stage. Yeah, that's it. The Jebas, the Canada, the Jebas, and the Jebad, Burmit, the Jebas, send the Jebi Nicola lives at the Ganaya, Suzo Mubi Kanaya, the Pajabal and Barsu Shimbola to Muguni, Mubakanaya, Nangi, Jotabaji, Channel, yes.
And then when the meditator goes through all these 7 stages and then reach to the stage that, well, the mind is, like sort of naturally abiding in the object of meditation, like doesn't need to put so much effort, doesn't need to apply to rely in the antidotes and so forth. In this very stage that the meditation is very stable and naturally, like not need to rely on antidotes and so much effort, so much force, force. And so the nature abide in meditation. So the 8th stage is the single pointed, making one pointed state.
Tande gubanyamjo tingins tande kamya jane ta chanda jane nguni tande tobyo mar di inaya sozo pe mubi kanle sozo chi pe gum chi gyatsa ina ta deni pe chozo kazu pe part ina pa pe besu chuni me mogwaji ni pa ngangi pa deto de amu pe servo da pe odini toni deto chani gubanyamjo tingins.
And when the mind, just one mistake here, the eighth, the mind can be completely stable in the meditation, in the object of meditation, and within very long period of meditation, but it's still the meditator has to put a little bit of effort, not as before, of course, but with a little bit of effort still present in the 8th stage. And in the 9th stage, that completely stable, abiding, pacified mind placed in the object of meditation is present as long as the meditator wish, and without any effort, without any sort of. In this 9th stage is really when the meditator achieved the natural abiding meditating. But it's still this in the 9th stage, the meditator didn't achieve yet the calm abiding state, didn't achieve yet shamatha.
Yeah. Ona dandi dikala danda shane sinyeba toyore beden toyomare. Ona shane tobala gargo ore danda luishin jangzada, semshin jangzada, nijata togo yores.
And in this 9th stage, you can ask, well, here he already achieved the shamatha state of mind? No, so it's not still with the shamatha state or calm abiding state, because in order to achieve the shamatha state or calm abiding state, is necessarily to be conjoined with two kinds of pliancy, two mental factors or two kinds of mind. That is the two pliancies. That is physical and mental pliancy or serviceability of the mind and body.
Yeah. Da jene tobala jeda de lushinjana semshinjani go zimbi toni ani ko sozo sem de pa mubala bemil 100 tinjigoni kala pe rang ngangi jiktuba ji chawndi kala deni jene tinyi ba za to kres.
That's the reason that just then, when the meditator achieved the physical, the body pliancy or body serviceability and the mental serviceability or pliancy, just then when it's conjoined with this, then that mind is completely serviceable, is completely naturally can rest, can place without any 100% any effort, and for as long as he really wishes, because he doesn't have any obstacle, physical and mental obstacle, to place the mind in the meditation. That's the reason that the actual state of shamatha is represented here in the 10th, just in the 10th elephant here in this.
Tangdong to be cheddars. Tangdong to be ched.
Here we didn't put the number 11, but this 11th elephant represent the special insight state of mind or vipassana state of mind. In order to achieve the vipassana state of or special insight state of mind, that's the reason that we have to achieve shamatha, because on the top of achieving shamatha, we achieve special insight. We give rise to the vipassana state of mind.
Yeah. Jene tobi jilea hamdon tobalaya besu chembo la tu go yo sonza chezande besu chembo ogubada jene tobi jilea hamdon tobalaya besu chembo ogubada songres.
And can you see here again a flame that before was not existent, and then the flame came again? What represents this? After achieving shamatha, in order to achieve special insight or vipassana, and so again the meditator has to apply some efforts to achieve this state.
Yeah. Ta ane ko dini langado ni do jido. De gar residi gala yang atu shane dan hando de ya chidang ke chene jikte bilam chidang jikte lendi bilam chid ni yes.
Can you see that here there are two roads, right? These two roads represent the two paths, the mundane path and this mundane and supramundane path.
Yeah. Jiktembi dini shane dan hando de kan do chi la wores di kana pena kam ko la jiratan dobala ne mawa dungar mawa nyumo mawa ta dobala tuna osukam na zimi ni bode nyumo nyuwa dungar nyuwa dini yen sonza ta osukam da zimi le ya ke go du sambi tone jane dan hando gombi odini
Well, we have also the shamatha, the mundane, mundane supermundane, the mundane shamatha and mundane vipassana. What means this is when one is still in the desire form, and in the desire form one is meditating and one is recognizing the faults of the desire realm, and then wishes and also meditates in the qualities of the form realm and formless realms, that these two form realms or ways of living, and so is better and higher than the desire form, the desire realm. And so when we meditate into the folds of the desire form and meditate into the in qualities of the form and formless realms, and so in that moment, and in order to achieve special insight, this is shamatha and vipassana, mundane shamatha and vipassana.
Yeah, the nigga jitin be jane dan handon di deletini neko Yumu Munjir what the Sote, the Mashi Choni Tayan do down, and Eco Sociology Deva Yuya Tezamato, and the Dingo Katsawa, and the Nevaso to you.
Well, based on achieving mundane, a mundane shamatha or calm abiding, a mundane special insight or mundane vipassana, one can, the meditator that achieve these two states of mundane minds, this meditator can achieve temporarily the absence of the afflictions, of manifested. Of the meditator can achieve the absence of manifested afflictions or the coarse afflictions. And so the coarse afflictions or manifested immediately manifested afflictions that are in the continuing that moment temporarily when achieve either mundane shamatha or vipassana is ceased. Okay.
Yeah, then Jitin division at the London City Gala, Karium City Gala, that Demba Shilamini, and Asian at the London Gomonica, then Jitin Dibi, London, that Deletini, and the Dumurkasawa, and they never so to yes.
But in order to get rid absolutely of all the afflictions, all the problems, all the sufferings, it's not just necessarily to get rid of on the manifested and coarse afflictions or suffering. It's necessary to get rid of on the root. Get rid of this root of the afflictions and sufferings, and in that moment one has to achieve the supramundane vipassana and shamatha and supramundane vipassana, and so how to achieve these two? So taking the object as the object of meditation, the Four Noble Truth. So visualizing the Four Noble Truth, then one can get rid on the very root afflictions of the in the continuum.
Yeah, that did the order. That's same good. Sene Guba, that the Guba Yamshok thing is the top somebody, that Kariungo is the penas, also Dobado, which is sort of color, and the Tambo pay Samotani Dongoro. Capture Comshi tapes on go see the Tiparile at the Insoina Community Martini, Dotoya to us. But then I think so Gum Jamni, Pajo Mugukanaya, so the same Shabbat, and you didn't pay Mutin, Tembo in the day to younger is.
Okay, all the way.
La same Cuba. That is same Cuba, the water. Done the two.
Team.
But they Martina, the turn of the
And so here, after the setting in equipoise, or after the 9th stage of mind, so after this is the 9th stage of mind being achieved, so the meditator can really be completely focused, can be completely stable in the object of visualization without any problem, without any discomfort, with all the serviceability of the mind and body. And so forth. So this is after the 9th stage.
Yeah. That didn't Dagikalia, Penandocha Chimbo Yobaina, Midiba Gumgo, the Ganata, Rosugo, the same come down to be Tony, Muba Kayano Zoni, and Mibata Gumjago, yes.
Okay, and then the meditators choose, right, in order to get rid of, let's take an example of attachment. So in order to reduce the strong attachment, the meditator choose the object of observation as suitable for one's own personality and way of thinking. So out of the capacity and the personality of the meditator choose the object of visualizing.
다 나서 곰장원이 간라야 곰섭들라 니레스 니 가르레 소수고 삼로드 다가랑 잠바다 다 잠바 니지 곰바이나 소수고 로 다가랑 잠바 니지 모 끼니 곰바레 곰고레스 다테마 임빙아 좀 미다파 곰세하로다 돈이 곰세하듯소 사크 곰바나지 지니 파쇼 유르라샤 소수고 디니 곰게 로드 디니 파 지니 곰스자가 유르다 돈다 곰자다 곰게 로니보데 소소소 유르이친 드레지니 곰이야 고 유르드친 곰마즈 어디네 님
tampoco 그래 유르드친
모긴
모긴
소소 로데 니지 모야 긴
So we have two kinds of meditations also. There is the first one is the meditation that the essence meditation, and the second is the so the first is the meditation that the essence meditation, and the second is that becomes the object meditation. What is this? So what is the difference of these two meditations is when the okay, this is the object. So let's take the example that we are meditating in compassion. So when we are meditating in compassion, if we imagine that, if we visualize that our mind itself is transforming into a mind of a compassionate mind, this meditation in compassion, that we visualize our mind transforming into the same object that we are visualizing, this is the meditation, the essence meditation, because the essence of our mind transform into the essence of compassion, the object that we are visualizing. And on the other hand, the second meditation is the meditation, the object of meditation, that is when we are just looking at the object, and we know that our mind is just observing the object, is visualizing the object and all the qualities and so forth. And so in order to transform this mind, we are reflecting in the qualities of the object visualized. So this second meditation is just object meditation.
Yeah, that the order they are genjo zonde gonguya hajinga kechimbores. Don't get jongoni zonde gonguya hajinga kechimbores. The Yimba Garazin, Georgia, Generata Damil, Numo number Jumbo, Tomra Jone Zarja, Sondicala, Garazon Goris, Jenegar, Trotan GP, Hanton Latini, Numo de Mebazo to Rimato, Jane Cambaria, Numo Mebazo to Marin, Hanton Cambaria, Numo Mebazo to Mares, the Insoza, Gelazon de Niber to Guyores. The Insoza, the Gelazon de Yumana, one lay a Janing, but the Suzogela Togo Yures, Tomra Jone Zarjas.
And there's the other meditation, the other state of mind that we have to understand that is absolutely important is the mind that is completely mixed, the mind that is conjoined. 100% conjoined, the mind of shamatha and vipassana, the calm abiding and the special insight are conjoined, are in equipoise. These two minds are in equipoise. Why? Why is so important this? Because just like in Shantideva's ways, Bodhisattva's way of life, he said there is no afflictions that can be seized just on the top of shamatha, and there is no affliction that can be completely seized just on the top of special insight. These two mind, special insight and calm abide of vipassana and shamatha, they have to be always conjoined, always together, one helping each other. There is no way to get rid of all the afflictions and sufferings from one's own continue on the top of just shamatha or calm abiding mind, or just on the top of special insight or vipassana. It has to be always present together.
Yeah, that then tamadela kojogom kichemo karche gorezidi yurte ya sozo send tembo neada and yurte sozo la serbo chevi chet su karche gorezina jogum su che gores.
And then what is in brief, the importance of the single point concentration meditation is that in order to be very stable in the object of observation, and not just to train the mind in order to be very stable, but in order to visualize completely clear, very clear that object. This skill is based on the meditation, the single point meditation, which is common by the meditation.
Yeah, that's also good. They are never chimbozoa, the chimbozoala,
and in order to increase the power, the force, the strength of this wisdom that we have here. So the strength and the power of our wisdom relies on the vipassana, or especially inside state of mind.
Gonda that they give what you are chamazo, didn't young Sarmasar Society, tanda Marty Johnson Roshai, that the
Sorry, I had to hurry a little bit in the end, because otherwise we wouldn't finish today. But please, you're free to send questions, please, online and here.
Cannot tell me your name.
Yes.
Even when I have done a lot of shamatha meditation and been able to really calm my mind, I've never been able to have good visualization, like clear visualization. And it's very difficult. I can do a lot of shamatha and feel like I'm very stable in my breath. There's no clarity of image comes. I'm just curious.
When you said that, I've been doing a lot of shamatha meditations, but the object was never clear, right? But then you're focusing in the breath, or
it's like in the past, when I've done a lot of shamatha, I use the breath as a focus, and I can do that, and I feel like I can get clarity of mind. But I'm on the breath, but I've never, like say, if I try to work with an image of a Buddha, I get very little actual appears.
When you change the object of visualization.
Yeah, there's just no clarity of like actually visualizing. Something sort of more visual. I'm just curious how to work with that if you're not good at visualizing, or what that means. Like, is that gross reflections? Like, what is that?
What is the reason of not being able to visualize objects, if it's due to afflictions and so forth?
Or how, what I should do.
What to do. If you just are able to visualize clearly the breath, but not any other visual mental object. Namgyung shine pema poko nyunyu pema pani namgyung shinela ugla tonera ugla mine ni shine pe selvo selkyang shagidu ni sempe tempo tan upe salwa nanshin shada shagidu ugtira ula mine ni shine yapo gom yunyo ina yang ukmato delishemba mikba shemba kyone servo kyone sharmindu dima sonsan kare chini ukmato delishemba mikba kare ina nga minara kare chini servo sharmindu nyomon wangire bes kare chini res ani kare chegore di mikba di servo yenshedus kare chini ugla mine bet servo sempe chigulo ina yang mi pala mine tiram le magnos kare chini
mo bashanda la zura
mi question
yimba yina yang ta suzu ruga kala dini chini ko sense chiba tagi tian se chiba zamarda se chig pajot kala ya tembo deba samda ane se chiba sam ge ndigmari zide tagi ngazo de chingwa thamu de und deta tinginzi ni manoro chik toni amuba kala ya oute be muba kala suzu semda uka kala tembo ane ti kala ya sarbo yimba zanda majibi susu semdele sarchi ngarda demba dindi chiki tonde nerko corona mindi tini gumdewa ina te yago yumresa muba janda kangola utsindo magya jerwa tambo susu ruyang kana dindi chin gum china kapchile ya susu ngone tonde ya netse teze oze ya penasemne dumba do gebano dindi no slip tumna 다 옛날 대단다고 드니래 도네 드니 지마 양 라콘도 양 수도 고미 도야 잔다 드니 무니 고마이나 콜리라 라르찬.
Well, just as we explained in the beginning, sometimes when we're meditating, it's not that the calm abiding meditation or single point meditation doesn't mean to have just very stable mind and a very stable and relaxed mind. It's not just this. The point is to have very stable mind placed in that object, and that object has to be very clear, has to appear very, not just clear and bright, but has to be very sharp, like all the drawings and all of the details, very absolutely sharp. If it's not like that, just like we present here, the laxity. So maybe sometimes we mistake the presence of laxity as being the presence of the proper meditation or concentration state. Sometimes we mix like this. So when we mix like this, so the object doesn't appear so clear, and then we think that we are meditating in concentration. But if one can really meditate on use all the tools and keep meditating in concentration itself, not in the faults, in the concentration itself, and then one achieve like the 7th and 8th stage of calm abiding meditation. In those moments, then one can even change the object. Like if you are comfortable with the object of breath, you can keep using the breath all the time, and more or less when you're completely stable and very clear that the object of breath is very clear, then you can shift to others object, and all of them, they appear very sharp and very clear.
I think my question is that if I can't visualize, like almost nothing appears, how do you even begin to get clarity, right? Like if I try to visualize the Buddha, like very vague thing, and then it just disappears. And how do I even begin to build clarity if it's like there's very little to visualize to begin with?
Penanga mikpa pena kirsi kundra sanction negi kundra la mikra lamsang ani mikpa di torto gyure ani mikpa kyen da shudo gyure dicene nga gutsuya koramindo dicene kandis gutsu gyure kirsi lamsang ani shortna
다 인체 문치게 산지 군다로 근데 산지 그든지 공공도 삼바이나 근데 지금 대선의 공공도 삼바이나 지가르쳐야 요래지가 야 군다 차상 담보 수수 딱이니 제바 수수 니니지 다니 군다카니 지 수수 오미발라 샤나 페나가 조슬라칸 돈바군도 다데 마지미 돈바코티니 뭐 당가나는 진교다 다데 도제던 거 뭐기 주된 거디 돈바코서 야고도 데네로 지 수수 무데 타쳐지지 덴버지지 데덴베지 사디 간라 수수 담보 몰래 알레 고마지 응원에 수수 파르티니 응원을 샤니 디지 그래서 다니 디니치니 데 양다 때때제 파샤니 다기 밀리 샤와 나신데 양 수수 롱올라 디디 샤르추 그 가마 지마샤나이나 디나니 가자가 세계인데 지금도 세계 가지 샤르 다 가르스님이 때에 차사디니 샤마도나 아니 제리간 가르스님이 제리 샤마도나 데 데가로
나
나라 인지가로 노스 짱바 라 코소 데디 샤탐나 디고 데디 샤탐나 데 테모 야고 샤나티니 파파파 갈갈갈갈갈갈갈에 지니 어디니 양무 파파 야시리 당요 그래서 차상도 샤탐나 야고 차상도 샤마 양 담보 샤티 간나 세우 페 시부 샤야 그래와 잡지메 나카콜라 가서 데니 지니 곰 산지 코디니 곰 마시기오니 지금 까고를 코야 라니 그저 잡히기도 야 꿈도 듣니 세보노 고마이나 야 까고를 아마보노 다 타다노 듣니 놀라샤티 페 가서 심나 라마샤 디카블라 다기 담보스도 타죠 가라진 딩골라 양 쓰샤 양 쓰샤 양 쓰 다기 점마다 시진이들 저 코르키 제바이나 갑치라 아니 코 다다 샤르타베지 용그레스
in the beginning, if you are looking for the practice using the Buddha the image of Buddha. So first of all, as we said before, you have to choose, spend good time, like choosing a proper image that it's suitable for you. And then you have so many pictures or tankas and so forth. Here, even in His Holiness Dalai Lama's temple, so we have the big picture of his of Buddha Shakyamuni, or like that statue in Bodh Gaya. Right. You can also choose that because it's very clear and so. And anyway, so you spend good time like choosing a proper picture for you. And then when you choose, you like take that picture, like print that picture and really look again and again and again and get used to that, all the features of that picture. So how is the head, how are the hands placed, the legs and so forth. Okay, then sort of you memorize all the details. And then you close the eyes. Of course, you have these the image very clear, like not very clear, but a little bit for maybe 1 second, 2 seconds, and then it's going to disappear again. No worries. Before engaging in the meditation, you really look again and again and again. Okay, that's one thing. And then when you decided, okay, this is going to be the picture that I'm going to meditate, the image that I'm going to meditate. Then when you close the eye and engage properly in the meditation of shamatha, which uses the mental consciousness, not the visual consciousness, or the mental consciousness. And then of course the image will appear here, sort of 1 second, 2 seconds, but it's not going to be clear at all. Like don't expect this. This is going to bring you problems. Don't expect to be immediately clear. Sometimes even like it's gonna sort of these images that I mentioned here is yellow. Sometimes it's gonna appear like blue or some red. Some like our mind is too agitated. Yes, it's not clear. So no worries. You just I decided to meditate in that picture that in that image that I memorized before. And then it's not coming, no problem. Then you bring again the mind to that original image, and then it's going to distract again, and then you bring again within that short period that we said before. So it's going to be like that. And also it's important to not expect to have a very good and clear meditation since the beginning. Just give time and repeat again and again. And also you have to use again and again mindfulness and introspection. This is very important. Yes, and more things also that I forgot. That is when you're deciding for what is the image that I'm gonna meditate. And so yes, I decided to meditate in the image of Buddha. So you memorize all the image of the Buddha, and then the whole image, the whole body of Buddha is in front of you. And it's too difficult for you to memorize, to visualize again and again. You sort of concentrate your visualization in one of the parts of that image. Let's take like in the head, just in the head of the image of Buddha. And then if it's still like immediately you lose that image, and then you decide before engaging in the meditation, like visualize the nose. So, okay, I'm going to just visualize the nose of Buddha Shakyamuni, and then slowly, just the nose will appear. Slowly, and then slowly you sort of visualize a little bit of the eyes and so forth. Don't visualize the whole body if it's too difficult. William Yang dagaran las ngayang ani kangin chipuchi kangyosa. Yeah, William. If this also happened to you, so yes, you use as much as you can your mindfulness and introspection in order to strengthen your practice.
Can Geshe please clarify the difference between introspection and mindfulness?
Trembatan shishingi kyabar karres di tremba zade push pena tandi alang kaba ngam kiring kaba gombi some kaba the tagara suzu trembi la karza majibajini kaba tagara tende chiyorwa kawa tagarang de kawa de tagarang su sem le treni de ko trenism de odini chido odi dele trembas ta chidang chine trembala dibi do trembas de mombo yore tanda kapsa papate tanda omupate maje pachini so de tagarang zum de ni de trembas shijen se de kala suzu sem de tada kabangola dendu ya janda la du karchegidu odi taje chini chile shijen.
Well, what is the difference between mindfulness and introspection? It was your question. So let's take the example that we decided to meditate on mobile. Okay, and so let's take the mobile as the object of meditation. And so as long as we are visualizing mentally, visualizing the mobile in front of you, as long as the mobile is appearing to you, so your mind is very stable. So not only this, you're remembering, you're not forgetting that what you decided it was meditation on mobile. So the point is not forgetting about your object. This is the function of not forgetting is the function of mindfulness. So as long as mindfulness is the mind that doesn't, or the aspect of the mind that doesn't forget what you decided to meditate. Let's take the example as mobile. Okay, so you just didn't forget that you're meditating on mobile. And then okay, is the mobile still appearing to me, or my mind is already walking here and there? This checking, okay, let's see, where is my mind? Is it still in the mobile, or went somewhere else? This checking is introspection. So the checking what is appearing to my mind, and not forgetting on the object. So one is introspection and one is mindfulness. Mm-hmm.
Great question.
Others question?
I have one short one.
Yes.
Does Geshe think that we, lay people and Sangha, ordained Sangha together, can achieve the super mundane paths of uniting, calm abiding, and Vipassana in this very lifetime?
Nazo mike ta rajun mika karura se ditagarama nazo ani shinel drel kitenzi ani topia yurebis.
다 소소 원이 장의 그 정침보는 그 somba 난신다 가장 아주 디나를 저는 그 촉된 바세 저촉도 야우지 찬이 되네지 소소지 되는 그 냠냠전 되는 때니 야우지 아니 되는 소소 공부이나 다와 지그 안전에 토토그레스 다 원부 넘보도 되는 바이나 다와 쭉 되는 전에 토토그레 소연도 다 되는 전에 토토하잖아 되는 상도 리라오토니 아티네 톱톱고르 티니가노 영아 수다 미키야 예메 캬 곰갸야다 노줄로종체야다 소 미캬당 잡아 수이나 지비치캬레마도 코 영 가자 잡아라 토야요바 라종도솔 토야요바 미캬라 토야메바 딘디 마리 코 소소소 말수 지메제다 영 곰당가 름바 차라 만으로 와지도 소소 배치 공약이 지킨도 참마다 야고지 참바 대야 고림 나서바 만으로 딘디지게 토니 야고지 고마이나 첸들라이나 제네라모 참마 토야요레 와야 딘디지 대야라 좀 예메미 캬버다 미캬 예메미 캬버리오 마레스.
Well, from the biggest scriptures, from the root scriptures, all of these scriptures, they say that we can achieve, independent if it's a layperson or monastics. So it's possible to achieve if we gather all the conditions, if we manage to gather all the conditions, the favorable conditions, and if we have the unmistaken steps of the meditations. So under these two conditions, doesn't matter if you are a layperson or monastics, it's possible to achieve calm abiding, shamatha meditation within 6 months. And so this is written in all the main texts. And of course, just like we show here, on the top of achieving shamatha a state of mind, then it's easier to achieve also Vipassana, okay, the Vipassana mind. So yes, it's possible, but we have to be very clear on gathering all the right conditions the favorable conditions, and also not to mistake all the, well, this is the first step, this is the second step, like not to go here and there, and then really follow the right instructions. So if you gather this, doesn't matter actually if we are monks or nuns or lay person, there's no scripture at all that say, well, it's possible to achieve just for monks and it's not possible to lay person. There is no scripture at all of this, because actually it's possible under one's own practice, personal practice, gathering these two conditions.
We do know about Vimala Kirti. He did a pretty decent job as a lay person. But yeah, I'm amazed that Geshe La managed to get through all 9 stages.
Each and every.
And I think the preparation, like the setting up of the 9 stages, there's so much information to go through beforehand. At some point in the future, I would like to hear his thoughts on, with these 9 stages, I would like to hear more about experiences of entering into those stages, what it feels like, what's going on mentally, like any breadcrumbs that he could throw out there for people that are practicing. I mean, I've experienced sometimes inadvertently some of these stages of shamatha in my practice, but I think that what he said earlier is incredibly important. If we have a clear goal and we have a clear map or path to reaching that goal, maybe we could save people a lot of time on the cushion, just kind of wandering through neurotic thoughts.
Ani semme kurre tokcha kare yore ani nyamnyon kare yore ni musna mi do da jere tsure nyoma kare yo mesra ani lola kare shadu mindus dina shin shunana kare tio mes dinga ngone yankran sugi tune dikola sumtuna suranans
Nesu, tuition, yeah, that.
and then you have any questions here? Or if you don't have any questions,
I
you
have
can
one
also. Tam, yes.
But I can ask another time, because it's been a very long time already. I don't necessarily need to ask it now if it's kind of inconvenient and you want to close the session. It's fine.
You please ask.
Okay, I can ask. I wanted to know, like, as a beginner who has never done like this systematic shamatha meditation, how should I start? What should I expect for my stage 1 shamatha? Should I start with like 1 hour? Or this sounds like horribly much. Should I start with half an hour? What to expect when I'm at stage 2? Is it like I naturally progress to be able to focus minutes, or like how can I know which stage and what time is suitable for myself?
Maybe it's similar to Robert's questions, but I'm gonna give, okay? I'm gonna ask Geshe. Chisinatana jutsu marira. Yang tiwa dire penatana pet litampoa rang reda. Ani nga gongya gotsutura. Na kare jeogya gore. Kare kandis pena. Chuso chi gomya yores yamena. Ane kadres gomya yores. Ane di jela ane shine kare ane semne nipa lepetice kare shargio mare. Nga di jela shine ane karmanis nga gomya dire besti ane semne tampo semne gupa semne nipa la sopa takta che par takta kare ina mena nyenya mion latone tanga rewa kare gya curious. Ane korantio da vonte.
Shiva Karija Guru, not Kanado, Lana Habu. Taina, Le Tambo, Gunja Tande, Tanda, taking a conle, Chichusa, the Nikara Residicala, Suzu, the Yunson Tona, Tom Mawa, they are Muba Kale, Tembo, Servo, and the Suzu Semyoto, my Popet, Sewogini, or the Nidini, the Kalakala Gumbayana. Ani remiri bijini assembly ga namla assembly go nani go chuya tanda nga so yanda pe nga tikala tema chi gomde ni lamsa semne tambo chando odini ya niba to gomde semne niba chaso deni mare suzu lo la ya niba ji leo ni kala ya semne tambo niba la lebi ko che te leo ngoro ma to ko gom tanga chi jamni semne tambo la lemdo ya ni diap tikala niba la lemdo ya diga ka ja de shego mata ko Kola Karres, the kind of similar Nibaji Lemni, Ya Denicham, the kind of Chiwata Goba, the Serki, only similar Nibach Chili, the kind of didn't they send me good Remiri Beach in the Susan Togyong Yorima, Gum Tranga Manu Tony Tamar.
Well, I don't know if I can say about what to expect from each stage, but maybe what I can say is that, well, just like we already said before, that when you start meditating, when you start placing your mind in that object, and then just because you place the mind in the object, just by the mere fact of placing the mind of the object, that okay, now I'm in the first stage, and then because you decided to stay a little bit longer in that object, and then you are now in the second stage. It's not like that. It's not this. The point is when you enter in the first stage, when your mind is in the first stage of this process, and when the mind increase or develop to the second stage of the same mind, is when the mind become more powerful, let's say like that, when it's more strength, has a bigger strength. So with this mind more strength, then you are in the first stage, then your mind is placing in that object. And then slowly when the mind is more strong, so let's say like that, the power of that mind is stronger, the natural can evolve, can increase from 1 minute, let's say, to 2 minutes. Naturally, that very mind naturally increase the process of abiding in the object. Then that mind shift to the second stage. It's like that. It's not like, oh, now I decided to be in the first, now I decided to be in the second. It's not like that. But you have to start first, no problem.
When our children Zendala, some of the day you said some, then Zenda Gui Machashara, Zenda Gui Nikan, Dan Zenda Tambo, Nala Lojonchini, Dan Zenda Tambo, Nala Lojonchini, and Nivala Kadi, Zenda Niva Kadi Chagre Lamna. Zenda Tambo will load into the Sama, the Soso Chi, Dela, Lojon Shazan, and you say down. That you said and turn the Keran Geshe, and the Dela again like what I can Longkor, you say Sama, Zenda Tambo, you say Sama, the Trundus. That Keran, and don't that then Trundus, the Galakeran Zenda Tambo, she said that some of the Keran said that the landus, that Keran Zenda Nival and don't take do there. Then you call Tamal Tano, you say Tony Rosha. What they you say woman come on Zenda Nival and Roanaji, then they achieve. Same Tambola and Roa Mona Taki, Mazo Chisozo and Anto so my daisy. Nyori tangala ujongala sopogum tiniche tini semne tambo tini nibala lebala semne tambo ga netan to samade so logo chondo nibado de lego.
Just like, let's take an example. Let's make an example of, we have 9 classes, 9 years of classes, right? So we have 9 classes. In order to enter the first class and then to go to the second class and so forth, actually you have to go through all the lessons and everything that we have to listen and then contemplate and then understand from the first year of the class. And not only that, then after we have to make our annual exam. And then after our annual exam, then the teacher says, oh, just now you understand the lessons from this year, then you're able to go to the second year and so forth. And so what means this? So when you start meditating, you go through the process of trying to visualize, try to place place the mind, try to focus and so forth. And then slowly, you go through all the features of the first stage, the mind experience all the features and so forth of the first stage until become very powerful or completely and complete understanding on the first stage, and then natural the mind goes transform the very mind into the second stage. It's like that.
That's all.
Ani sudawa chikjela dikyuntune koso kale kom gyala ani tiwa yona sudawa chikjela yang kritisina dikola zona sotakita kisela
ani tanda tombo dana sagadawa kideyo da gingengla sagadawa ko le dezindeshi jago samni titso chongos da yema ina ngaso sani nani da di chonga sinchola chijina dana zenda kashi chinga so simji de toni kodchi ataptai ani ya doni ndo ta ya ani kakole chi namaso yang pemdo yoni na pemni nyamda so des yang gumja dini tiwa dilenche aji chopu dini chiaga leram doju jego samnita semel point dio tade lamdron do yona mena hamugo namaso yang pemdo yona azo ngole dendra ta chigo ngola ngaso sada o tangi ne sada tangi kan namaso yang pendo du yago du samna pero nas dini taki chorogula.
Okay, so before finish, so I have a few things to say. So first of all, now we are in Sakadawa, right? We are in the second day of Sakadawa, and then so we are planning to do a few activities during this month, either explaining what means Sakadawa and what are the merits and so forth, and then maybe gathering here together and online also for meditation or to questions and answers and so forth. And so if you this is in my mind, that's my wish. So we still have to get all the details of the things, and then when we are sure about if you are gonna do these gatherings and these classes, we'll communicate all of you through the same, more or less same media, okay, social media. That's one thing. And the second, well, now for the next two weekends, so we don't have this class, right? Because the translator is not possible. But after maybe 3 or 4 weekends, then maybe if you want to keep doing this, not just this class, but do your practice, like try to put into practice what you just listen through these 3 weekends here, and then bring all your questions and doubts and so forth, like this, like put into practice and see what happened, what didn't happen, and so forth. And then maybe if it's your wish, and then we might be able to meet again after a few weeks when we have availability of translator again. Okay, it's like your wish. And also some of you also are coming to some of the classes of Peace of Mind and also this class. And so if you wish, you can leave all of your questions in our Facebook, you know, in the website there it's linked the Facebook, likewise the YouTube and so forth. And so you can go through Peace of Mind Facebook and leave all of your questions there, because we have so many Geshes here, and then it's not just me, and so all of the Geshes can reply to all of your questions. Okay, so please leave your points there also. Okay. Now we do the dedication prayers, and then we do some group picture here online also.
Onye tawari mochi, aje bana jeje, jeba nyamba mebaya, onye kondo bewara shiro, kari ravi kurbi jingam, andan dewa mandejo, chere zuwa denze jansu yi, jaba sunde pata denjura jiro, chendi jeji jewa tangchi, maso mando lobra dongwa yi, jene namsa nayami, Danger Sami Meni Doboru, Sinjin Neva Jiniko, Nali Targi, Rubina Maluba, Dodon Joma Meborosho, Pama Sinje Damje, Dedan Bank, Mandro Damje, Tato Tombada, Chanjo Semba, Kana Sushi, Teda Gunji Molum de Gerji, Jambe Babuji de Jembada, Kundo Sambo Deand, Teda Gunji Jiza Dalo, Gewandi Damjera. Tuzum Shibi Jawa Damje Jimo Ganam Chotanga Pade, Dajan Givi Zawadi, Zambo Chuchera Domo, Jawa Gunda Yanda Lama, Remi Chuche Panama, Sadan Lamji Yunda Razo, Dojen Changi Gombo Yoto Show. Tujena.
Thank you, Tujena. Thank you
Obrigado.
for the Brazilians. If you want to open the mic and a picture and video, we'll share.
Obrigado.
In Portuguese, it's obrigado.
Thank you.
Some of our Geshes are also studying English, Chinese, and Portuguese in order for the future to speak directly in this language, and so they don't need to rely in translator. It's very good. Okay, let's do one picture.
You know how to.
Do you know how to do a print screen?
Anyone knows how to do a print screen? Yes.
You have a function key and then on the top row, like function.
Just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I use a Mac, so
You know, we are
familiar
very
with it.
skillful. in
See,
that.
it's different. It's like control alt
Oh,
something.
You see?
Oh, it's a greater shape.
You see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
There you go. You got it that time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Send
Bye,
all
bye,
the
bye.
doubts in Facebook,
Bye, bye.
WhatsApp, whatever. Okay. Have a great week.
That's all.
I'll be on the
Okay.
Zoom class.
Bye, Maria Lucia.
Yeah,
See you
that's
soon.
all.
Maria
Bye,
Lucia is
bye,
coming
bye,
to
bye.
the sala
Key
soon.
one, so Palisa, Arik Palisa.
I'm gonna turn off. Bye. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Obrigada.
Isso.